Water, typical about Earth. Introduction. The Earth is the only planet which has an essential resource on it. It is the resource which has made life possible on the Earth. Can you guess what are we talking about? Yes, of course, it is water. The presence of water on the Earth often makes people refer the Earth as the water planet or blue planet. Apart from being used for irrigation and drinking, water has a number of other uses. It is used for washing, gardening, cooking, bathing, etc. It is used in dams to generate electricity. Water is also used as a medium of transport. Water is the home for several plants and animals. About 3/4 of the Earth is water. Out of this, 97% of water is in the seas and oceans as salt water. About 3% of the total water present on the Earth is fresh water, which is fit for consumption. This water can be used for the purposes of irrigation and drinking. 2.997% out of 3% fresh water is present as ice caps, and 0.003% as groundwater, rivers, lakes, streams, soil moisture, and water vapor. Sources of water. The blue planet or water planet, or the only planet with life on it, has a number of sources of water. Water is present as surface water, groundwater, and rainwater. Surface water. The water present in rivers, lakes, streams, ponds on Earth is 3% of the total water present on the Earth. Is the surface water. This is also the fresh water. Groundwater. Water present under the ground in between the layers of rocks is said to be groundwater. This water is stagnant, hence contains a number of impurities. Water from springs, wells, hand pumps comes from groundwater. Rainwater. The purest form of water is rainwater. It is the result of evaporation and condensation that makes it pure. Water from different water bodies evaporates and forms clouds. When the clouds become loaded with water heavily, they fall down as rainwater. Water cycle. The journey of water from the land to the sky and back to land is called water cycle. Atmosphere plays a very important role in the formation of water cycle. The water in oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, ponds and streams evaporates because of the heat of sun. It is the sun's heat that provides energy to evaporate water from the Earth's surface. Transpiration is the process by which plants lose their water to the air. It takes place through stomata present on the surface of leaf. The water vapor so formed rises up. The air higher up in the atmosphere is cooler. This cools the water vapor and it condenses to form water droplets. Many such droplets of water together form the clouds. This process is called condensation. When clouds meet cool air, they fall on the Earth as rain or snow. This process is called precipitation. A part of this may seep down the rocks by the process of infiltration. Some of the infiltered water may get trapped between rocks as groundwater. However, most of the water runs down and meets the sea in the process called surface runoff. Heat half cup of water in a pan. Soon you will observe water start boiling and it starts converting into vapors. After some time, you will notice that all water converted into vapors and went into the environment. Cloud formation. Water from the surface of the Earth, like ocean, sea, lakes and ponds, etc., evaporates to form clouds. The hot air rises up in the atmosphere and it takes water vapor with it. As hot air rises up, it begins to cool down. As cold air cannot hold as much of water vapor as hot air, the water vapor turns into tiny droplets of water or ice crystals. As more and more warm air cools down, more tiny droplets of water form, and together they become a cloud. Take a glass and put some ice cubes in it. Cover the glass with a thick cardboard and let it stand for about half an hour. You will find tiny droplets of water appearing outside the glass. This shows condensation. In very cold places, water drops fall down in the form of hail or snow. A cloud is a large collection of very tiny droplets of water or ice crystals. The moisture which is present in air above the ground is known as water vapor. As the warm air rises up, it expands and cools. As it cools down, many molecules of water vapor condense around dust particles and start floating in the air. When millions of such particles come close to each other, they are termed as clouds. Rain. How is it caused? When the droplets of water start floating in the air, they are called clouds. When the particles of clouds collide against each other, they join to form bigger and heavier droplets of water in the clouds. On meeting cool air, these droplets fall down as rain. In some cases, the air is too cool and the water droplets in clouds freeze to form snow or hail. Rainfall and its effects. If it continues raining for hours without halt, there is an increase in the level of water in the rivers, lakes and ponds. This results into water wagging. Everywhere, roads are filled up with stagnant water. Land is covered with water everywhere. This condition, which is caused due to heavy and uninterrupted rain, is termed as flood. Odisha, Bihar, Maharashtra, Assam are the states in India which are frequently affected by flood. On the contrary, if a place receives no or very less rainfall for years together, not even during rainy season, the land, soil and water bodies of that region dry up. This condition is termed as drought. The areas that are frequently affected by drought in India are the parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. The reason behind this condition being the loss in humidity of the rain-bearing winds called monsoon. Both flood and drought are natural calamities caused by nature. Such unfortunate events can damage property, people, plants and animals of the area. Effects of flood. Depletion in the quality and quantity of soil. As a result of floods, the top fertile soil is washed away. The soil becomes saline, which affects the growth of plants in that area. Destruction of crops. As a result of flood, the fields get washed away with its crops. This results into shortage of food. Loss of life and property. Human beings and animals get drowned in the flood water. Houses collapse. Drinking water gets contaminated. Epidemics break, which accounts for the loss of life and property. Aquatic life is affected. Aquatic plants and animals are washed away with water. They are dumped elsewhere, mostly on the land. This separates them from their habitat, which might finally result into their death. Unhygienic conditions. Flood can lead to spread of waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid. Scarcity of drinking water may occur as the water gets contaminated. Effects of drought. Soil erosion. Due to excessive dryness, the topsoil is blown away by the wind. This results into soil erosion. Agriculture. Due to the scarcity of fertile soil, agriculture is adversely affected. This results into shortage of food. Mortality rate increases. Due to the shortage of food, human beings die. They do not get enough food to eat. Cattle do not get fodder, as a result of which they gradually become weak and die. Yield of milk also decreases due to the poor health of milch animals, milk-yielding animals. Effect on aquatic life. Due to the scarcity of water in water bodies, the aquatic life is also affected. They eventually perish. Hence, it is necessary to have a balanced average rainfall round the year. Conservation of water. Having realized the importance of water, we should ensure that we have enough quantity of clean water for drinking, irrigation, and washing. In spite of the fact that 3/4 of the earth is water, we know that 97% of it is saline and 2.99% is locked up as ice caps. We just have 0.003% for consumption. Thus, conservation of water is a very important need of the hour. Not only this, the population is drastically increasing, and so their needs are also increasing. Thus, the only way to have a good supply of water for a long time is to conserve water. A few methods by which water can be saved are: we must ensure that the taps are closed properly after use. The water that is left over after cleaning fruits and vegetables should be used for watering the plants. Planting more and more trees increases rainfall and thus conserves forests. Using rainwater by collecting it. Directing the rainwater to the ground so that it can be used by plants. Rooftop harvesting helps conserve water. Large tanks can be set up on roofs to collect rainwater. This can be directed to the toilets for the purpose of flushing. It can be brought to other uses also by proper treatment to remove any kind of impurities. Rainwater harvesting. A modern technology of reusing rainwater is rainwater harvesting, which is largely being followed in many parts of India. It is the method of collection and storage of rainwater from rooftops or from land surface for future use. It is a good method for increasing the availability of water. There are two techniques of rainwater harvesting. Rooftop harvesting is the technique in which rainwater is collected in tanks from the rooftop. This might contain impurities which have to be filtered before use. Rainwater can be sent directly to the ground through pipes. This replenishes the groundwater, thereby maintaining the level of groundwater.